Good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to all of you who are joining us from across the globe. And welcome to the 10th Thema Talks webinar on wildlife conservation through photography narratives. Aiwan Wanakam Mamaketcha Kondamai as we greet at Thema Collection. Thema Talks is an initiative of Thema Collection, which aims to provide a platform for experts and participants to discuss sustainability-related topics and share knowledge and experiences. In addition, we focus on creating a platform for collaborations and partnerships among different stakeholders to address sustainability challenges and achieve common goals. Today, we have the 10th Thema Talk session, and over the past few months, we have engaged with 28 speakers on 10 different topics with over 400 registrations and over 200 participants. We had discussions on different topics, including partnerships and its importance towards sustainability, the importance of green building concept, biodiversity conservation, and seagrass, which is an underspoken topic in Sri Lanka. We also focus on encouraging supported employment in the workplace. And last month, we were able to move this to the international platforms where we got speakers from Australia to participate in the Thema Talks. Today, we have two speakers talking on the topic of wildlife conservation through photography narratives, where we focus on how wildlife photography can enhance storytelling, leading to increased awareness, and consequently the conservation of species with a particular emphasis on the Sri Lanka leopard and elephant. To begin the session today, I invite our speakers, Mr. Dushyant Silva, co-founder, Yala Leopard Center, and also involved in several research publications on this topic. And our other speaker for the session is Mr. Milinda Vathigedara, co-founder, Yala Leopard Center, and involved in a number of research publications on this topic. I would like to hand over the discussion to our esteemed speakers of the day. Over to you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dushyant Silva, and I've been photographing wild animals in national parks since 1996, and you can call me Dushi during the Q&A session. And also, I'm a wildlife enthusiast who's not only concerned about the photograph I took. I always wondered more about the behavior of animals, and I connected with a team of similar-minded enthusiasts, and we often discussed about identity of animals and their behavior. We discussed our thoughts on behavior with the wildlife department, and they accepted our ideas, and they allowed us to do the official identification of the Yala National Park, and also allowed us to commission the Yala Leopard Center. So when we talk of identification of animals, the credit should go to my colleague Milinda Vathigedara, who is with us today, and he's a co-speaker. He started the Yala Leopard Diary and the Wild Tuskers of Sri Lanka, which identifies animals, leopards and tuskers of Sri Lanka since 2013. And I would like to, Milinda, why don't you, talk about your journey from 2010?
Milinda, I think you have to unmute. Yes.
Sorry. Good evening, everyone. So I'm Milinda here, Milinda Vathigedara. So my journey started in wildlife photography like from 2010 onwards. So it's like the Dushyant just shared. It's while we're taking photographs, it's not about just taking a photograph. It's just going beyond and observing the some of the uniqueness of these majestic animals what we see in Sri Lanka. Also, we are actually lucky to born in this majestic island where you get so much of biodiversity every inch of this island. So the wildlife that you get in this particular in Sri Lanka is it's not second to any other part of the world. So uh, that's the reason why we it's going beyond the photography. We just want to observe the animal behavior, how unique they behave in the wild compared to the other part of the world, and what other special it's about our leopards and especially the leopards and also the tuskers. Dushu, you can proceed.
Yeah. So as we speak about wildlife and photography, well, I first would like to talk about what is photography. Uh, it's according to Wikipedia, it's an art or application and practice of creating imaging using lights. So it is used in many instances involving science, industries, hobbies, and mass communications. And mainly it's used to making memories. And wherever we go, we take a photograph and we make a memory. And most of us just stuck it in, our memory cards or our album and, take it out and, post it on Facebook. And, that's all that happens to a photograph for most of us. And when we talk of wildlife photography, uh, we would define it as the art of capturing photographs of a wild animal in a natural setting. And as you can see in the screen, the two words wild animals and the natural setting is highlighted as they are important. The importance is that wild animals are not pets. They don't live in a zoo. They live in national parks in their own natural setting. That is the jungle. So we cannot, when we think of wildlife photography, we should never think of them as pets or that they are domesticated animals. And our photography part or conservation part should base on them being wild animals and in natural settings. So once we go further, you will understand why I say natural settings. But we've come across a lot of people who treat wild animals just as how they would treat a pet, and that creates an imbalance in nature. Say, for example, if someone wants to treat a wild animal who is injured from another wild animal's attack, I don't think that is the proper way of conservation. In the jungle, it's the survival of the fittest. And if we say, it's sin and, we need to treat that animal, then that's wrong. If it is human inflicted, yes, we have to treat. So, so there are many examples that I can give to why I have highlighted wild animals. And I request everybody, all of you to treat wild animals as wild animals and not as pets. And so when you take a wildlife photographer, there are a few key elements. That is, the wildlife photographer has to have patience. And also you have to technically know your equipment. You have to know what the length, what sort of a distance you need to get close to, or whether whether you should actually cross the boundaries of an ethical photographer by getting too close. That means you are using a wrong equipment to that particular jungle. Then you also have to have element of luck. You can't just expect to see animals always, and you can't target saying in this particular trip I want to see 5 leopards or 2 tuskers. No, that's wrong. It's all element of luck. And also you got to understand the animal behavior. So when you combine all these key elements, you can, and also think that a wild animal is in a natural setting, then you can call yourself a good wildlife photographer, which is important, as I say. And when we go to ethical photography, a good photograph, say someone wants to take a good photograph. The good photograph might be taken in the most unethical way. That unethical way can disturb wild animals and nature. So it's always in wildlife photography, it's not always taking the best or good photograph. It's taking the photograph with ethics, ethical photograph. And so there are many instances where uh, people try to photograph the best or good photograph by inflicting undue pressure on animals, which is very unfair and which is not uh, uh, good in terms of thinking that they are living in the jungle. And as you can see in the screen, these photos were from the daily Financial Times, and you can see the pressure that this particular bear in the middle photo is undergoing. There's so much of stress, and as you can see, there's a in the first photo there is a huge jeep line, and I'm sure that there would have been a leopard there, and probably I've seen a lot of instances where the jeeps don't allow them to even cross to drink water, and but through the jeep driver programs that has been happening recently, things have changed for the better. And but what I always feel and what I always believe is it's not these safari operators or the tour operators that are to be blamed for this. It's purely the photographer. They pressurize the jeep drivers or they pressurize the safari, the tour operator to guarantee sighting. So, I mean, they somehow want to take the best or good photograph, as I told you all earlier. And I believe that that is not a good thing to do. So a good photograph doesn't have to be the best photograph. The ethics that you practice while taking that photographs makes it a good photograph, and you can be happy with it. And as I mentioned earlier, a good photographer understands nature and the behavior of animals. Uh, you can't expect them to be like in a zoo. So you can't always expect to see animals as every time you go into a national park. So we are going against ethical photography if we do so.
Dushi, sorry to interrupt just for a minute.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to reshare the slides again because it's not on full screen. If you don't mind, could you reshare the screen again with the slides, please?
Yeah.
On the presentation mode, please.
Yeah.
Maybe we can reshare like close. Yes, that's right. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. So so now let's see what wildlife conservation is. Well, it is to protect all elements of nature and wildlife that has been handed over to us thousands of years through generations of humans. What we see today has been handed over by many generations to us. And it is not our duty to destroy. It's our duty to protect it and hand it over to our next generation. So most of us forget it, and we, mix development with uh, conservation, and we make a mess out of it. So there should be a balance, and the development should be planned, and we need to conserve everything that we have now for our future generations. So as you can see in these few photos, these are the natural settings of biomes in Sri Lanka. And I'm sure all of you would have seen this kind of settings, and these are handed over to us from generations. So it's important to know that, and it's our duty to protect them. So when you come to conservation of wildlife, the wildlife conservation is done by the regulator, and that is the Department of Wildlife Conservation through the Fauna and Flora Protection Act. And so they are the sole regulators, and they have all the authority to conserve wildlife. And as citizens, we also can do our part in conservation. We can do it on our own way by reducing the harm that we inflict on nature, and we can also assist the conservation authority. So, as we go on, we will tell you how we help the conservation authority instead of blaming them on doing our part and conserving nature and wildlife. What I see in most instances are all negative comments on the conservator, which I don't totally agree on, because if we help them, there's nothing that we can do just because we complain. We need to, the regulator has to do it. We can always, of course, the Wildlife and Nature Protection Society has done their part in many instances by filing action against the undue projects or development projects and conserving nature, which we have to appreciate. That also they have helped the regulator for conservation, as the conservation agency or the Department of Wildlife is also sometimes hindered by the development plans of various governments. So when we come to what we do, or what we would like every one of you to do, is to use photography as a tool of conservation. Photography can be used to gather data for decision making through research work. And also, photography generates interest among many people to go and explore nature and wildlife. Also, like when people go and visit parks, when they go and visit nature reserves, when they are interested about a certain species or many species, it creates a deterrence to poaching, because you get more presence of people in those areas. Especially this could be seen currently with the wind project plant in Mana, which everybody is talking about. And it's purely wildlife conservation, the enthusiast interest that creates this kind of negative, that they talk about these negative developments. It's totally because of the enthusiasm of the wildlife loving people. And if you take tuskers and elephant deaths, that has also been highlighted through enthusiasm. People, through their photographs, they have brought these to light. And unlike before, if an elephant is killed, it's almost at that time it's put on internet, in Facebook, and action is taken in most occasions in getting the culprits caught. So we believe in creating proactive interest in the society through photography. And also, we can, as citizens, we can engage in citizen science. That means you need not be a scientist to do a research, to have a research finding. Photography can be used for that, and many citizens have now taken up to citizen scientist programs, and they have observed many. They've observed many new findings through photography. So, and if you take the perspectives of looking at a photograph, a photograph can be taken with an idea of creating a memory for passion or a hobby or competition or to learn from. So whenever you take a photograph, as I told you before, it can have many uses. And these photographs, especially wildlife photographs, has an in-depth meaning of it. And if you take a collection of wildlife photographs over time, that can educate the photographer of many untold stories and fascinating finds. That's how we established what we do for conservation. We were photographing animals over time, and these photographs were used for individual identification of leopards by the Yala Leopard Diary and the Kumana Leopard Diary groups, and the individual identification of tusker elephants by creating the wild tuskers of Sri Lanka. We have identified over 250 leopards and 258 tuskers. And the creation of these groups saw the participation of many wildlife enthusiasts who now look at the photos of leopards and tuskers, they see in a different perspective. It's not, they don't just look at the photo and, it's not Facebook photo or a photo that they would keep for their memories. But instead, they see a lot of meaning to these photos, which that is what then the enthusiasm starts over there. So that's what we want to create, and that's the message that we want to give all of you here today. To use your photographs for the advancement of science, and also to create more purposeful enthusiasm in wildlife photography. And some of the key initiatives that we've had will be explained by my colleague Melinda.
Yeah, thanks, Vijay. So it's when we started, as we spoke about, when we started, it's just what we did. We just go real because me, Dushi, we both are actually fanatic of leopards and tuskers. So what we do is the more frequent visits to see leopard is obviously for us is Yala. So when we go there, we have this collection of images with us, but just lying there. But initially we just want to what I would like to do was taking these images and just try to learn the behavior of these animals. Just learn about how they behave, how they interact with each other, and what kind of a home range but this one particular animal going to have in the Yala National Park. And all of us know the leopard in Sri Lanka is apex, and the behavior of this animal is very unique when compared to the other part of the world. If you take in Africa or if you take in India, so the Sri Lankan leopard is sitting on top of the food chain. So their behavior, their interaction to each other is where it's totally different than the leopard species you can find in the world. So those are the reasons for us to start initiating this Yala Leopard Diary, where we initially created a Facebook page where we started doing the identification and posting the images, and we also encourage the fellow photographers to contribute. So little by little, it became basically a mainstream for any leopard lover who's going to Yala to understand or read the behavior, because we started identify them over a period of time. So with that, all the information about the leopard and tuskers, especially about the leopards, being documented, and we made sure those information are freely available and accessible. So the first thing what we did, we actually, along with the wildlife department, we initially in 2019 we published a leopard diary, that is a printed small handbook about the identified leopards, which was given to the all the park rangers in the Yala National Park. So that booklet helped at that time many the rangers to identify and just inform these leopards to the guests. So we didn't stop there. Then we move on to the into 2020, where the admits of the pandemic, we got the opportunity to put the something very unique in Yala National Park, which is called Yala Leopard Center, which is we got the approval from the DWC and we established that. That is the first information center about dedicated information center, I would say, about leopards in the world. So whenever you go, all of you go to the next time to Yala, to make sure you pay a visit there. And go through all the amazing information we have published in the Yala Leopard Center. That was published, established and handed over in 2020 June. Then we actually established our website, that is yaleoparddiary.com. So anybody which want to understand more about Yala leopards, identify leopards, their unique behavior, and you can go to this particular website and you can enrich your knowledge. Not only that, actually, once we started this one, even though I have initiated, we have a Yala Leopard Diary and the Yala Leopard Center. We have an amazing set of people who are voluntarily involving in this data gathering and creating all these amazing the documentaries and the website and all this information, where because of the amazing teamwork, only all these things are possible, because none of us actually do this in full time. We all are working professional, and most of them are from based in Colombo. So we do travel a lot to Yala, and so it's the passion, the commitment, the love towards these amazing apex predator that pushed us to create and do this amazing work. In 2021, there was another milestone in our website. Two of our admins, they are actually the IT architects. They managed to basically develop a system where using AI and the image recognition to identify leopards automatically. So whenever you go to our website, you can, there's a tab called AI-based automatic identification. You can go there with a clearly taken photograph of the leopard or forehead or a side of the face. You'll be able to identify just need to upload, then the system will tell you who is a leopard and all the information about the leopard, the family trees, and which part of the park he's living, he's basically presently living in. If he's a female, how many litters, up to now. So those are the amazing stuff which we started as photographers, and we moved further up and contributed towards to the Sri Lanka and all of these Sri Lankans. And this is a small video about Yala Leopard Center. So I'm sure if you have been to Yala National Park, you must have visited here. If not, you can basically go and have a look at it. The Leopard Center has two wings. The first wing will have all the information, the photographic journey about the leopard life story, from the pup up to the adulthood, and the unique properties. Also, you have this touch screen, and which is loaded with our the leopard information. So you can just use it and see all the identified leopards information are there. And if it's a female, then the family tree also uploaded like that. And also when you go down, you can see the hormone. The other wing, it consists of all the leopard information, the unique behavior which we have identified in Yala, and some of the unique the instances, behavior traits that we have recorded. So this is something this is something very unique to the world and unique to Sri Lanka as well. Plus, we have this self-control also. You can take a photograph with the leopard. So this is actually a nutshell of the Yala Leopard Center. So we are inviting you all to pay a visit and just go through the work that we have done. So we haven't stopped there. We have established, yes, we have established Leopard Center. Then we actually move to the outreach program to the bordering village of the Yala National Park, where what we did, we actually with the park officials, we approached all the bordering the most of the bordering village schools where most of the kids are underprivileged, and they, to our surprise, none of them have visitors to the Yala National Park up to now that we have initiated our the outreach program, and this is the ongoing program where we get like a batch of 50 students, and we'll give them a introduction to the park. Then we'll do a safari, and then again the park officials, you can see this in this photographs, park officials come and interact with the kids, and they educate them, because what we believe, these kids have the direct impact. The Yala National Park will have a direct impact on these kids' lives. Plus, these kids will have the influence power to go and influence their parents, because parents do correct things with regard to the park, because most of these kids parents, they must be engaging in some of the posting activities, because all of them are in bordering villages. So what we need to basically educate these kids about the importance of this majestic place, and to protect and conserve in longer term. So this is actually an ongoing program where we are going to conduct more than 5 programs in this year also. Because of the pandemic, the last couple of years, we had actually challenging in organizing this, but we have organized close to 3 programs. So this is ongoing programs. Actually, we are planning to cover all the students who are in the bordering villages in Yala National Park. Moving on to the Tuskers, actually, again, the passion towards to see and photograph the Tusker in Sri Lanka, it's becoming a reality, because if you take the total population of the elephants, it's less than 5%. The elephants having tusks. Even these elephants, all these tuskers, living, they very few are living within the periphery of the national parks. Most of them they are living on the bordering villages, where they in the night they encroach and basically go to the villages and in finding food. So for the years, there was one place which was fascinated among many of us. I don't know, some must be knowing this place. There's a place called Kalaivawa, where in the dry season, like Min area, in the dry season, even in Kalaivawa, you get the vast automatically the banks have become vast plains, and all these elephants scattered around will come there. So the Kalaivawa, what happened is, compared to the other part of the elephant gathering places, the number of tuskers in Kalaivawa herd is you get a many number of tuskers. Like we have recorded from 2013 up to date close to 25 tuskers. But unfortunately, many of the big fellows is no more with us because of the human activities, nothing else. So unfortunately, there are close to 4 to 5 massive tuskers who lost their life from 2021 to 2024 due to various human activities. So what we did, we did the identification guide, and what we have handed over that guide to Kalaivawa National Park. That has actually eased out for them to basically identify these tuskers and actually keep a note out of it. where there are regular visits to the park, because all these tuskers will come on a rotation basis. They mainly come when they are in must. So normally it's rare to see two tuskers in the same must period. But if you closely observe, so one big tusker moved in when his must period is over, the other fellow will come in. So it's uh, something very unique and uh, very fascinating to observe. Plus, actually, we have conducted many presentation and awareness programs about the elephants, about the tuskers and their rarity, to educate them, to understand, give them the message where the importance of these the majestic the animals to our wild, and the amount of the economic benefit that they can gain out of them. Dushi, you can take it more from there on the hill country leopards.
So, thank you. And also, so why we talk about identification of species so much is the first step for conserving them is to know what you conserve. And that can be only done through identities. It can't be done through, estimations. So these are the proper, the count of leopards or tuskers that were in Sri Lanka at one point. And if you take Yala, we do the census population counts of leopards every year. And the Yala leopard population is around 75 leopards
Yeah,
in Block 1 itself.
yeah, correct.
And also, one more thing that we did was, due to the issues faced in the hill country, there were at one point of time, there were so many leopard deaths in the hill country. And then we initiated another conservation initiative called the Hill Country Leopard Conservation Initiative. That was me, Milinda, Ravindra Sirivardhana, and Nevan Kiesena, who is from the Yala Leopard Center, and Dr. Sumit Pilapitiya was also a part of this group. And we devised a mechanism, and we linked the plantation companies with the Department of Wildlife through various means. We conducted training programs to all of them. And I'm happy to say that it has borne a lot of good results. And we see a big decline in the leopard deaths in the hill country. It's not only because of this initiative, but also this made the difference. And now there are a lot of educational seminars happening. There are a lot of people getting involved in conservation because we initiated this. And also, one of the milestones that we achieved as photographers or through photographing is that we proved to the world that the leopard spots and rosettes change and it's not static. Even, there were even sayings that the leopard spots never change. And even in Sinhala, they say, Kotiyagi pulli maru wenni naha. But we proved it otherwise. And we developed a new method for identifying leopards without errors. And that is the newest leopard identification method. We published this in Switzerland in the Animals peer-reviewed journal in 2021. And currently we are in the process of publishing five more new findings. And if any of you want to just go through what we have done, you could just search a multi-point identification approach for the recognition of individual leopards, and you will find our paper. So now we go to, I like to talk about how a leopard changes its spots. So this is a leopard called Hamu, who roamed Yala and who dominated Yala from the early 2000s to 2017. And if you take the first photo in 2004, it's a photo that I photographed a young Hamu at Yala. And as you can see over time, by 2015 or 14, And especially during the 16-17 period, his spot patterns in the forehead area, we've highlighted only the forehead in this photo just to show, is changed. And these photos are through, as I told you, a lot of people get involved in conservation or they share photos with us. And as you can see, some of the names in the photos are just, people who volunteered to share their photos with us. And so this particular uh, change is recorded over a period of 13 years. And going more into changing of spot patterns, this is a leopard called Lucas uh, at Yala. And you see there's an injury on the side of the face in the second photograph. And if you can see the first photo, in the circled area, there were 4 spots. And after the injury, there are no spots over there. So up to date, it remains like that. And so that is the change that we are talking about. It's called the obliterate change. There are two change types, and this is completely erasing away the spots, and the spots were never seen after that. And there's another leopard called Harakura. This leopard, as you can see, in 2020 the first photo is around 2019, and by 2021, his spot patterns have changed considerably. And uh, if the earlier identification method was applied for a capture recapture like this would have been documented as another leopard. But through our method, and because we proved that it's the same leopard, though the spots have changed, you don't get an error in the population count. And this is another leopard called Michael. His side of the body was injured, and if you can see, if you see well, the highlighted part in the first photo is the original way his skin coat was. There was an injury in the second photo, and the third photo, the rosettes in that particular area changed. And in a conventional, a trap camera based identification program, they would have seen a change in the spot pattern. And this leopard also would have been identified as another leopard or a extra leopard in a population count. So then we go on to, these are a few photos that we have presented. And I would like to, these are just ordinary photos. If you say it doesn't have any photographic value in a few of them, but if you take the depth of what this photograph contains, it is fascinating. It is against the world's knowledge about leopards. The first one on top is 2 female leopards, unrelated female leopards together, which is not recorded in Africa or India. So here, through the identification that we do and through the links of the family trees that we have, we know that these two are not related at all. Then the second on the top is 2 male leopards. So unfortunately, there's a branch covering the face of one leopard. This is Harakhura and Suba. These 2 leopards are 2 males, again unrelated, and they were together. The third photo, on the second row, is 2 male leopards, unrelated male leopards, sharing a kill, which is not heard of in any part of the world. And the fourth photo is a male watching whilst 2 females fight to mate with him, which is, of course, that has been seen around the world, but this is the photo that I wanted to highlight. And so these are just normal photos. There is no major photographic value to these, but it teaches us a lot and we observe a lot. And And the other slide shows this is a story of the life story of a leopard called Steve at Yala. And in 2017, I photographed this leopard as a cub with the mother and the sibling. And right throughout, we have documented this leopard's life story and seen how he grew up with his mother. These are just a few photos that I have put on the slide, but there are many more documented photos of them. And then in 2019, the mother took them away from the area he was born to a completely different area, and then came back. And again, after about 2 or 3 attempts, the mother went to a place called Butava Plains at Yala. He was born in Madapara, that is more towards the Manikgang area of the park. And she brought this leopard to the middle of the park. And as you can see, the 2019 photos in Butava Plains are with the mother. And the third photo of the second line is, it's not a normal photo. I mean, this is the only photo that I've seen in the world. And it is a separation of a mother and a son. I was lucky enough to be at this and to photograph this instance, and they just did this, and they bonded a little while, and they went on to different paths, and they were never ever seen together from that day. The mother went towards her old area, and Steve, he was roaming about Butava, and now he goes up to Kotigala or Meetingala, which is quite a big area and quite a distance from where he started, where he was born. So we've documented his, up to 2022. We have photos of him even in 2024. So things like this, we can document through photographs. And if you look at it in different perspective, it's easy to document this, to know what you are doing. And the next slide shows a family tree. We've documented family trees of many leopards at Yala, females. We don't know who the father is, so we never talk about it. But that's also because these female leopards mate with many males and adopt a tactic to protect their cubs. It's called obscured paternity, practiced by lions. And we see it happening at Yala, which is not seen anywhere else in the world as well. So that's why we talk about only the mother family tree, the maternal family tree. And this particular leopard called YF1 Gina has contributed in this way to the population of Yala's leopards. So we've done this to many of the leopards, and we have documents of all of them. And Milinda, I would like you to share a few of your stories as well.
Milinda, I think we'll have to unmute.
Sorry. The beauty of all of these are actually doing it in correctly and properly, and having gathering the data from 2013 up to date. Now you guys wonder now how we did it. From 2013 up to 2017, we couldn't do any identification because it was something very new to us, and there was no such the information which is available that we could obtain prior to that also. So we have to start it fresh, and it took us 4 years to understand the behavior of actually not understand the fully, the understand in a smaller way, and to segregate these the leopards. So from 2017 only onwards that we managed to start the identification plus the Facebook page, and all the like-minded people start contributing it. So it's not only us, it's benefited everybody who loves Leopard. So, and it's basically used as the main guide by everybody now who is a frequent locally, who is a frequent. It can be a photographer, or it can be a common the frequent visitor to Yala. Everybody uses this, and not only us, actually all these safari jeep drivers and the park officials, everybody uses this uh, to the uh, identified and to record this. And what is important here is actually there's a sharing knowledge. The in previous years, actually, the finding this much of a knowledge and understanding, or to know or to get something, know about leopard is really a challenging thing. Now, what we have created a platform and a website and a Facebook page, and we do a lot of presentations on these findings. We want to share among all these wildlife enthusiasts. It's not about us who studying should have these information. So it's basically sharing among the mass the mass the target market where everybody will benefit with this information, and everybody start loving will have a uh, more keenness about going there, just not to take photograph, just learn about this animal. Ultimately, this will help the long-term conservation of this beautiful the animal, which we all love. So these are some of the photo stories that we would like to share. So this is actually one photograph that I have taken. Uh, Leopards crossing Buttala Kataragama Road, where you could see many times there are few elephants who used to the food and standing alongside the road, but very few I have seen the leopards crossing from block 3 to block 5. So to capture these, actually, I have follow them from block 3, close to 1 hour. We were, closely following up them. Then in one moment, they just cross the road. What's the important message is here is actually whenever we drive in between a jungle, we always need to be careful, and we always need to be within the limits. So the like not only these, from the small insect up to the elephant, everybody uses this pass to to do their daily routine as well. This is one of my I would say best photographs taken in Yal National Park again. What happened here is actually this was actually a tree which you can see from a very far distance from the main road in Butova Plains. This happened in in the uh, uh, afternoon time, where the sun was setting behind. There was a one a carcass which is lying on the tree branch. Sorry, the branch, where it took close to 2 hours for this particular leopard to come up to the branch and try to come to the kill. No sooner when he comes to the kill, he wants to take the kill to a next to a different branch, where in the process it got slipped with the sheer power of the leopard's jaws and the paws, managed to secure the kill. Another one of the memorable photographs, you would always see a cub following the mother. In this particular instance, where it had gone other way around, where when mother started walking towards to the other side, the cub started coming towards to the jeep. Uh, Dushi, why don't you explain this? This is another very rare occurrence that we both together we have photographed. Dushi, you can explain.
Yeah. So this particular set of photographs are of a failed hunt. There is a leopard called Mega, a sub-adult, and he miserably failed this hunt. And as you can see, these three photos show why he failed the hunt. And out of this, the second and third photos are again the only photos that are highlighted in the world. No one has ever seen this kind of photos because the buffalo bites the leopard, and it is only then that the leopard let go of the calf. Usually, a buffalo can't bite and inflict pain because he has only one set of teeth. So he doesn't have two sets on top and and bottom of the mouth. So he has only one, but he yet bit this leopard and inflicted so much of pain that the leopard let go of the buffalo. And this is another story. If you see the leopard in the middle, this one is called Sage, and this particular leopard is the mother of Lucas and Lance. They are on either side of the mother. And the importance of this is this particular female leopard brought these two leopards up. She brought them up without a canine. If you can see clearly, her canine tooth is hanging, and this has been the case right throughout their from since they were cubs. And she raised them up to be, you know, Lucas is a leopard who is really brave, and everybody sees him. He hunts. He's not scared of any animal or any vehicle. And and this particular leopard brought him up to that. Without a canine teeth, it is very, very difficult for a leopard because they need all four teeth to hunt. And this is another story about, in the earlier slide also I told you, where Stacy and Steve, the mother and son's farewell hug. And I've explained about this photo a few minutes ago. And the other photo is a fish trying to fly upstream. These are the Veheragala Dam, and there was a huge block of vehicles to see a leopard in the main road of the park, and I thought, well, let's just go to the dam and just relax and wait until the traffic ends. And so while I was waiting there, then suddenly uh, the tracker told me, look at that fish trying to fly upstream. And as we were waiting there were many fish trying to fly upstream, and I managed to capture this photograph. And this is another interesting story where a jackal was climbing a tree. And there are three photos here, two on the left and one in the middle. If you can see the first one, he was trying to go up the tree trunk. And the second one, the large photo shows the jackal up the upper branch. And the third photo on the left-hand side shows that the jackal was climbing down. So this is also something that that was not seen at all, and I sent it to the jackal research team as well. And of course, there are tales of destruction too. As you can see, the humans always create destruction in the environment in most occasions. We've seen this happening so much in Yala. The one on top shows a leopard with a slipper in his mouth, and there was another leopard, and they were playing with that slipper. And the second photo below it is where there is polythene in another leopard's mouth. And the third is a very frequent thing of leopards being caught to dust storms made by speeding vehicles or or too much of vehicle movement. So these are also captured through photographs. And yeah, so Melinda, you could talk about the Tuskers.
Yeah, I'll just go a little quick. Actually, this is one of the famous and one of the most popular photographs. Actually, this is the largest tusk bearer in Sri Lanka, tusker called Tusker Mahasen. Actually, I have to wait 8 years to take this particular photograph to find him, because all the time whenever this guy is a very elusive guy, appears to the main area crowd will a very short period of time. By the time we get the information, we need to go there. If we fail, then we won't be able to see it. Majestic fellow with the it's a massive pair of tusks, but unfortunately, due to human activities, you can see this tusker is having multiple, it's not multiple, it's many gunshot wounds in both legs. I just did a close-up for you all to understand the amount of interaction these guys are having in their daily life routine. If not, this kind of these kind of marks wouldn't be there. Another the photograph that I have taken in Kalaivawa, one of the main reason to increase human-elephant conflict is the less food for the wild elephants. So what will happen is, with the help of all the politicians around the parks, the farmers, they send their cattle inside, and there will be less amount of food for the elephants. Then they start go and encroach in the villages. This is one of the photographs that I have taken, where elephant is looking very sadly in losing his feeding grounds. Another one, another photograph. This is called Tusker Asala, actually Asala 2, where because of the illegal fishing, mainly in the lakes, these animals get these kind of permanent damages on their trunks. So these are, you cannot actually these will be the permanent the injuries that they have to live with their life, entire life, because this is happening mainly because of the illegal activities of the humans. Another something very unique and very touching instant sequence of photographs that I have managed to see in my photographic career, where 2013 in the Great Gathering in Midden area, I have seen this mother with a tiny calf, and she's having a permanent leg injury in the hind leg due to a train accident. And I actually thought this she was really far and away from the herd, and I personally thought this calf not going to going to be a successful elephant. But in 2019, to my surprise, I'm seeing them again alone. Calf has grown, and this is something very touching and beautiful to observe all the period of time. These kind of the beautiful things are happening in the wild. And another one, he's from Galgamuwa, where you guys must be knowing. The Galgamuwa is a place where you get a lot of wild elephants. They are staying backyard of the human settlements. This one tusker called Tusker Chanli, where he was in the Masiya Banagamuwa Lake, very close to the human habitation, where he's in the daytime he's in the lake, and in the night he goes and start encroaching. Another photograph from the Kalaiva, where when it's dry, you get the beautiful the green color, the plains been created when in the dry season. And if you keep the sufficient distance, and if you respect the animals, they will start their behaving on their own, and you will have this kind of beautiful natural photographs you can take. Another one of my favorite photographs. This is called for this from Yala. Taska Kashapa is plugging the palu fruits, and it's not like African counterparts. They just bend their hind hind leg and try to reach to the top and try to grab the fruits. Um, this is actually from Kaudula, where small calf playing with he's playing and trying to go towards the herd. And this will be the two last photographs. This is one of the another unique sightings that I have ever recorded. This is from Kumara National Park in 2015, where we are the one who first recorded, me and set of friends, first recorded this two species of eagles who are fighting. And the brown color eagle is called greatest predator eagle. That is the first time this eagle is recorded in Sri Lanka. And we were observing for close to 3 to 4 hours. That's why in the previous slide also said the wildlife needs patience. Suddenly the white-bellied come and try to attack and try to grab the fish that the great spotter was eating. And this is the showcase the love of a mother, and it doesn't matter how vicious the animal is. Actually, this is again from Yala, where we waited close to 3 to 4 hours. Where once we observed these the small hatchlings, we knew that there will be many that this mother is going to get from the den. So after 3 to 4, at close to 2 hours waiting, mother took another hatchling and keep it on the floor on the ground very gently. And some of these I think these photographs you cannot repeat these photographs, and it's so touching and so memorable, and you can enrich and flourish with entire life these memories. And finally, this was taken again in 2015 in Yala on main road, close to passing the Digamala. So it's all about when you're engaging in something like photography, it's pretty important for you to basically use these photographs for a conservation and betterment of these animals. So with this note, we are wrapping it up. Thank you very much for listening to us, and we are open for any Q&A.
Thank you very much, Melinda and Dushi, for these beautiful pictures. I think we have never seen such unique pictures, and I would say there's a lot of hard work, hours and hours, right, to capture these. Wouldn't have been easy, and I think within a blink you can take it, and if you don't capture the correct moment, it's all gone. So I think they're actually beautiful, really. And I'm touched to see most of these pictures. So moving on to the Q&A session. So we have a question from Asita. Thank you, Dushi and Melinda, for highlighting the importance of ethical wildlife photography. This is a great article that I've read on the topic, and he has sent us the link. So his question is, may I ask where you obtained the funds for Yala Leopard Center and the outreach programs you conduct? School programs, hill country leopards. So
yeah,
that's a question
well, for the Yala Leopard Center, the Yala Leopard Center was housed at the Dr. Ravi Samarasinghe Memorial Hall at Yala, and it was renovated by Navesta Pharmaceuticals. They did the entire funding for this, and the hill country leopard. That's the only initiative that we were funded. All the other programs that we do are all funded by us ourselves, and even the research is funded by ourselves through 4 of us. That's Milinda, me, Ravindra Sirivardhana, and Mevan Priyasena. And the Hill Country Leopard Conservation was also like that. It was self-funded, and even Dr. Sumit Pilapitiya joined with his own funds. I mean, he spent so much of time and his resources to do this, and that is that's so that's what we want to talk about funding.
Oh, I think that answers the question. Thank you very much. And we have
Okay.
another question from Shalini. Quite an important question again, I would say. What are the most important don'ts to remember when photographing in national parks? I recently witnessed a scene where 10 to 15 safari jeeps were chasing a leopard. What is your opinion?
Milinda, why don't you answer that?
That is certainly actually, if you say actually don't, but it's always better to understand and get yourself aware of what you can see inside the park. If you go to Yala or anywhere else, it's not all about leopards. You could go and chase for. So there are, you know, many other wildlife species and other wildlife the spectacles that you can go and observe. So it's always better whenever you go into a park, do a little bit of research and find out what are things that I can go and see. If it is a leopard is always a bonus. And you just go and observe the park, enjoy the nature. The other the luck will follow you. And um, adding one more to that. So if you really keen on understanding or seeing a leopard, so why don't you just you have this all the information in the world now with us, and it's published freely. Just go through, understand, and try to go and try to find your try to spot a leopard using those guidelines.
And also, like about a scene where 10 to 15 safari jeeps were, uh, you know, chasing after a leopard, is that now there are different training programs that we have also got involved. Milinda was very much involved in those, where we try to train, that was organized by the Wildlife and Nature Protection Society, where we try to change their behavior. And there is a slight improvement in their behavior right now. But as you can see, I mean, it's the photographer or photographers who force them to get a viewing or a sighting of leopards, especially leopards or tuskers. And that is why they go behind leopards. It's not that they have not seen, no. The safari jeep drivers have always seen leopards. But it's the visitors who come, they promise, I mean, it's for the tip basically that they do this. So they are under pressure from the visitors as well to show them leopards. So that should start from the photographer or the visitor. It may be a foreigner or it may be a local, and so that starts from us. So when we get in, when we get into a vehicle, if we are going with a jeep driver, we tell them, look here, you cannot break any rules, and the jeep drivers will vouch in those areas. They will vouch for what I say. So it's a part of the photographer's duty to control them instead of being greedy for a sighting. And so that's a major don't that we request everybody to follow. I hope it answers your question.
Yes, very much, Tushi. So I was actually there at Yala a few months ago, and then I noticed we do have someone similar to like police in within the Yala premises too. I think to monitor the vehicle speeds and all that, right? The jeeps, safari jeeps. I saw there
Yes,
were instances. So I think that is also a good initiative where
yes.
everyone thinks about the
The
animal habitat and they don't try to
yes,
exploit it.
yes.
Moving
But
on to
but
the
it
last.
does happen.
Yes, it does. But then
Yeah.
somewhat if I believe it will stop or, some sort of a
Yes,
restriction to the drivers and the people taking them around to make sure they do not disturb the natural habitat within.
yes.
Moving to the last question. Do you have any plans to have similar setup with setup programs rolled out in Vilpattu?
No, Wilpattu, we do not do any work currently because there is amazing work done by Mr. Kitsiri Gunawardena, and he with a group of other enthusiasts do leopard identification and leopard studies there. And I believe that they do this kind of programs at Wilpattu. And because we emphasize on Yala, the blocks at Yala and Kumana.
Okay. Melinda, you would like to add anything at last before we wind up the session for today?
Sure. Thank you very much, Thema, and that we have given the opportunity to come and just present what we have done. Also, actually, that's a contemporary topic that you have that we have to spoke of actually regarding this how photography can conserve a long term, which actually we both are really happy, and not we only we both, actually our entire team really happy and proud. We are taking a proudness of actually contributing something very positive and related to the Sri Lankan wildlife and towards to the Yala. So that is something very, very important for us actually. And only thing is what I have to say is always go and appreciate what you have in the wild. It's not about a specific species that should give you the the more joy. It's the environment and the experience that you get in the wild will give you the more memories. Thank you.
Dushi, if you had to add something to wind up the conversation today.
Well, I hope that everybody here would take something out of this presentation and probably take a photograph with much meaning. Yeah. I know some of the people in the audience, they do act very responsibly. Some of them I know personally, and I think if everybody does their part and they don't pressurize the jeep drivers to definitely guarantee a sighting or show a sighting, then the place will be a much organized and stress-free place, and that will help the work that is done by the Department of Wildlife Conservation, the Wildlife and Nature Protection Society, and also Dr. Sumit Pilapitiya, who spends so much of his time voluntarily in trying to make this thing right, make Yala and the other parks right. So my wish is that I hope everybody takes a leaf out of this presentation.
Thank you very much, Dushi and Milind. At Thema Collection, we really value the work, what you've done and what you're giving out to the society. We do really appreciate that. So once again, I would like to extend another round of appreciation to the esteemed panel of speakers today, Mr. Dushyant Silva and Milinda Vattagedara. Your willingness to share these valuable insights and these unique, beautiful pictures was truly commendable. And that brings us to the end of the webinar session today. For more information on our sustainability journey, you can visit www.themacollection.com. Also, you can follow our social media pages by scanning the QR code where we post all our sustainability activities and projects. Looking forward to seeing you all in our next webinar. Until then, stay connected. Have a great day.